Pink has become an important color for our youth, for Filipinos like me, like my classmates, like my friends, and like my family. Ever since the last national elections, many of us young Filipinos started to engage in politics more and more. Ever since the last national elections, many of us young Filipinos braved the uncharted waters of Philippine politics. And ever since the last national elections, many of us young Filipinos started to face the consequences of being political. In a world where our government constantly antagonizes radical, outspoken, and critical citizens, what can you say to us young Filipinos who continue to battle these powers?
Keep going. So what do I mean by that, right? Part of it is you must, because in the end, this goes with your values, right? And the second part is that the world, and I don't just mean the Philippines, the world literally is at an existential moment, right? We haven't discussed climate change. I mean, how hot is it, right? The Philippines hit 44 degrees like a month or so ago. 44 degrees Celsius. I don't know if you remember when I was with CNN, when India hit 33 degrees, it was big news. Global warming is real. This is only going to be solved through political will, right? So beyond that, Al Gore, in March, I was in London and I was the first speaker, Al Gore was the second speaker. So I was talking about how the corruption of our information ecosystem is critical, that democracy will die. And Al Gore comes up second and he says, we cannot solve the climate crisis until we solve the democracy crisis. And we will not do that if we do not fix our information ecosystem. Right? So everything is broken, is what I'm saying. And I think what we need to do is to go back to the real world and organize our communities. Organize based on our values. And are there risks? Well, obviously, you can see the risks, right? There are risks. But I think this is something we talked about in Rappler. I would hate to look back a decade from now and know that we didn't do our best, right? Because we don't know what will happen. I've seen these time period compared to right before World War I. And in the Nobel lecture, I compared what happened to our information ecosystem to the atom bomb exploding, right? It is that existential. So, yes, figure out who you are. Because here's your added burden, and this connects to your question. This generation is looking for meaning. It is it's a rite of passage for human beings. We search for meaning, right? But with the information ecosystem corrupted as is, you are a commodity that is living a performative life. You're performing for everyone else, pushing meaning sometimes out of your reach. That means you must come together more to talk about what is really important. Find your tribe, but I hope, like I said, lay it out, embrace your fear, be prepared. But if we don't fight for our values, then we aren't who we say we are.